Jai Hind children. Today we are going to start a new topic from the lesson Story of Microorganisms. Useful microorganisms. Before that, let us see a quotation. We are born with wings, don't crawl. Learn to use those wings to fly and fly. So let us recapitulate few points from the previous class. We discussed that microorganisms are of 5 types: bacteria, protozoa, fungi, algae and microarthropods. And these microorganisms again are some of them are unicellular and some of them are both unicellular and multicellular, and microarthropods are multicellular. We have even discussed the definition for the unicellular organisms, which means organisms which are made up of only one cell. Multicellular organisms means they are made up of more than one cell. We have discussed that virus as the interlinking organisms between both living things and non-living things, as it behaves as a living thing when it is present inside a living body, and it behaves like a non-living thing when it is present outside the living body. So this is the one what we have learnt in the last class. To continue the topic, let me ask you a question. You all know that both plants and animals are mutually helping each other. Plants gives us oxygen and we in turn gives the carbon dioxide. Then what do you think about microorganisms? Do you think these microorganisms have something to do with plants and animals? What do you think? Are they useful or harmful? Let us discuss that in this session. Microorganisms are useful and some of them are harmful. Today we shall discuss only useful aspects of the microorganisms. Useful microorganisms. We have 3 main headings: microorganisms in food, microorganisms for the medicine, and also their role in the soil fertility. First one, microorganisms for food. Yeast. Different types of microorganisms are useful in making the food industry. To start with, yeast, whose name is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Saccharomyces cerevisiae is the name of the yeast, which this is already we have learnt in the last class. This is the unicellular fungus. This is the unicellular fungus. This is the picture which has taken under the microscope. So each one is a single cell, single yeast cell. It is most commonly used in the baking industries like making of bread, pizza, cakes, etc. So when we go to a shop and purchase yeast, this is what we get in the shop, just like granules. So how yeast is useful in making the bread? So yeast is added to the flour. Yeast is added to the flour, and this flour contains some kind of carbohydrates. The yeast, which is a fungus, uses these carbohydrates and convert them into carbon dioxide and alcohol. You all know the fact that carbon dioxide is the air. So when the carbon dioxide is produced, it will try to come out of the dough. So that's why after an hour, if you see the dough will become raised up like this. Then if the same dough is kept in the microwave, this is what we get, bread. So during this process, carbon dioxide will come out of the dough and form these areas, pore-like structures on the bread, and alcohol which is released will evaporate it. This process of converting sugar into carbon dioxide and alcohol is called as fermentation, which is also called as anaerobic respiration. Right? So yeast is also used in the brewing industries for making wine. So already you have studied that sugar is converted into carbon dioxide and alcohol by the yeast. By the same process, here in the brewing industries, alcohol is produced. Not only here, fermentation can also be seen in our homemade food items. For example, idli, dosa dough which our mother prepare in our home also raises in by the morning time if you have seen them. Right? This is also because fermentation carried out by some kind of bacteria present in it. Right? Next, Lactobacillus and Streptococcus. Lactobacillus. By the name bacillus, you would have understood that bacteria is rod-shaped structure. This is the picture of Lactobacillus. Streptococcus. Coccus means spherical shaped, bead-like structures. Right? Streptococcus. Here, this is the picture. So both Lactobacillus and Streptococcus are involved in the formation of curd. Usually, Lactobacillus is the commonly used bacteria in making of curd. The milk contains sugar which is called as lactose. This lactose is converted into lactic acid by the bacteria called as Lactobacillus. As we discussed, this bacteria or the fungi will take the carbohydrates or sugar for their energy purpose. When they are utilizing that sugars, they will release some kind of waste products or byproducts. Like here in this case, lactose is a sugar. Lactobacillus is using it for its energy purpose. During that process, it released a product called as lactic acid. As acid is acidic in nature, its pH is very low, it is going to split the milk and forms a protein called as casein. Because of this casein, the milk appears like a jelly-like structure called curd. So this gel-like structure or taste of the curd is just due to the conversion of lactose into lactic acid. Here, this milk conversion into curd is not only converted by just Lactobacillus but also sometimes Streptococcus and other bacteria are also involved. These are called as lactic acid bacteria, which are friendly bacteria. They are helpful for the human beings, that's why they are called as friendly bacteria. Coming to the next milk product, cheese. Cheese is also one of the most oldest food items in which microbes were used. You might have heard about different types of cheese names like mozzarella cheese, Swiss cheese, etc. Different types of cheeses are present. These different varieties of cheeses have different types of texture, taste, flavor, like that. Why they have different texture, flavor, taste? Because different kinds of bacteria and fungi are involved in the making of this cheese. Right? Next one is soya sauce. This is another food item which is made with the help of microorganisms. In this case, not one bacteria or the fungi is involved, 3 microorganisms are involved, like Aspergillus and Lactobacillus, Saccharomyces. Means Saccharomyces you might remember, it is a yeast, a type of yeast. So here Lactobacillus, Aspergillus and one yeast is involved in making the soya sauce. Soya sauce is used in making the noodles. You might have seen this in the for making of noodles in the fast food centers. In the Chinese food items, they mostly use this kind of soya sauce. So here substrate is soya beans and wheat. So the sugar present is converted into an acid by the help of these 3 different microorganisms. Next one is toddy or palm wine. This is the one of the traditional drink of southern India, which is nothing but sap. They collect the sap from the palm trees, and this means nothing but the fluid coming out of the leaves. So this sap is fermented in the pots, and the same will be sold as in the name of toddy or palm wine. In locally we will call it as kallu. Right? This is also a fermented product by microorganisms. So have you seen any of these food item? We might have seen this, at least this one in the TV ads, right? Do you find a common factor among these three pictures? Probiotic. If you have seen, all these pictures have a common word, probiotic. Nowadays it became a common thing to have the probiotics in our daily food items. This is because probiotics are made up of good bacteria. They are nothing but the solutions or the liquid which are made up of good bacteria, which will help in our improving digestion process and also immunity. For example, this is a product which is available in our India. So Yakult, it has 6.5 billion Lactobacillus cereus strain Shirota. Lactobacillus strain, it is present in 6.5 billion in number. So when we drink such kind of drinks, what happens? This bacteria, which is nothing but good bacteria, enters into our digestive system and improves the digestion process and also improve the immunity. So not only these lactobacillus, there are other probiotics available like Bulgaricus and Streptococcus thermophilus, Lactococcus, Lactobacillus, Bifidobacterium, Propionibacterium, etc. Whatever it is, all these are good bacteria which will help our digestive system. So these are the main points of your role of microorganisms in the food. In the next class we will learn about microorganisms' role in increasing soil fertility. So this is for today. If you have any doubt regarding this, post your doubts in the WhatsApp group so that I can respond to you. Hope everything is clear. So what we have learned today? We have learned that microorganisms can be useful and harmful. They have three main uses in the food, in the medicinal field, and also in increasing soil fertility. We have covered about the role of microorganisms in food industry. They have different roles in making curd, cheese, probiotics, and soya sauce, bakery items, and even in our household food items like dosa and idli. So this is all about today. Let us meet in the next session. Jai Hind.